It is the laptop I was least expecting. It's the laptop that really nobody was asking for, but here it is, and so far I kind of like it. It is this guy right here, the new Surface Go 2 from Microsoft. That's right, I said Surface Go, not Surface Pro. Surface Pro is their big Windows slate, and you get the keyboard and you snap it on magnetically, and it's got the cool little hinge that pops out. Then again, the Surface Go has that Windows slate, and you snap the keyboard on, and it's got the little kickstand that comes out. The difference is it's smaller and less expensive. When we saw the first version of the Surface Go, I think back in 2018, it seemed perfectly nice. It was frankly kind of underpowered, and once you added on all the extra accessories you had to buy to really make it useful, it was not that inexpensive anymore. Maybe you should trade up to a Surface Pro instead, or get a more traditional clamshell hybrid like a Lenovo Yoga. Well, the Surface Go 2 fixes some of those problems about the original, not all of them, but it's certainly a nicer machine with a lot more high-end potential because they have taken the screen, they've bumped it up from a 10-inch screen to a 10.5-inch screen, and frankly, that makes a big difference when you're talking about a small screen. The bezels are a little bit thinner, but they're still pretty thick compared to a lot of other devices out there where getting the bezels, the border around the screen really small has become one of the main selling points. On its own, it kind of looks a little bit like an iPad. It's a Windows slate. The real key to all of the Surface products is they sell this guy, the sold separately keyboard cover, and it attaches magnetically just like this. And then you've got something with a keyboard and a screen, almost like you can do with the iPad now, where you have Apple's new Magic Keyboard clip-on cover attachment. Now, the catch with the iPad version is, number one, you're running iOS, not Windows, so there's some limitations there. Number two, that Magic Keyboard for the iPad, it's like $300, $350. That's crazy. Then again, I used to say the Surface keyboards were crazy, because when you buy a Surface, whether it's a Surface Pro or if it's a Surface Go like this guy, it's $399 to start with this, but guess what? What comes in the box is just this, nothing else. If you want the keyboard, that is $129. You can get a super plain Jane one for $99, but the nice ones with the fabric cover and the colors, those are $129. If you want the Surface Pen, that's another $100 on top of that. And when you're starting at $399 for the product itself, that really adds up. It's a big additional expense, and you end up spending a lot more than you expected to. That said, the combination of the Surface Go and the keyboard is a pretty nice one. I even find that small size means it's a little bit more lap-friendly than some of the other Surface products, which are great on desks and great mounted on small spaces. But on the human lap, the fact that the kickstand comes out at an angle and you have to balance it and you don't really have a lot of points of contact between the device and your legs, it's not the most lappable thing ever, but it has its fans, and every Surface does really well, and frankly, they're really well-engineered, well-put-together products. For the new Go version, the smaller, less expensive version, the biggest change is you can now get an Intel Core M3 processor in it, although that is, again, going to cost you extra. The base $399 model is still a Pentium, and that's not going to be useful for all-day, everyday work. The fact that you're taking a machine like this and you're saying, oh, it's super small, it's super portable, it goes anywhere, that may not be the biggest selling point right now when we're all stuck at home, not going anywhere. But the fact that it is a Surface product that is relatively inexpensive is a good selling point. And once we all get out of being self-quarantined and working from home, having a very small, very portable system could certainly be something that's nice to have. There's one last caveat though. When I turned on the Surface Go for the first time, I was shocked by one thing: the operating system it comes with. It's not regular Windows 10. It is something that they used to call Windows 10S, which I had not heard about in the last couple of years because it was mentioned a few times and then seemingly never mentioned again. It was a stripped-down version of Windows that would only run certain pre-approved apps from the Microsoft Windows App Store, which is frankly not the world's greatest app store. And a lot of stuff you want to do, even things like installing the web browser Chrome, just are not going to work on it. Now, it's called Windows 10 in S mode now to kind of make you understand it's not really that different. It's still Windows 10. So as soon as you start to load up a program that is not compatible with it, it says, do you really want to run this? Well, okay, press here, but don't say we didn't warn you. And literally in 10 seconds, you've got regular Windows 10 on here. They say you can't go back to Windows 10S, so be careful. Don't worry about it. You don't want to go back, and that should be the first thing that you do. I'm just going to leave that in. I love that the Surface Go, this new second version, is very portable. It's made some processor and screen updates. I think the keyboard is still one of the best engineered things I've seen in the laptop scene in many, many years. It does still bum me out that you have to pay extra for the keyboard. It should come in a box. It's practically required. No one would ever buy a Surface and not want to get the keyboard to go along with it. That said, if you want that combination of super small, super light, and not all that expensive, even if you're throwing